What is up, guys? Happy Friday. Today we are going to continue with the back testing. If anybody has any charts they want to go ahead and take a look at, whether it's old or something that they're waiting on, go ahead and send them in. But let's go ahead. Austin has been sending in charts, so let's go ahead and take a look. This is the first one you have sent in, Austin. You're looking for sales on Ethereum. Okay, based off of structure, I do like everything that we're looking at based off of structure. Are your others the same? Okay. Solana, you got your shoulder here, starting point there. Everything still looks, solid. We have the breakage structure, breakout rally. My starting point is there, goes hand in hand with this very last pullback. Awesome. Everything looks good right there. So that does look good. Keep in mind of this equal highs. But other than that, that looks pretty solid. Let's continue with what you got, and we can just look at them all together. Bitcoin, got some sales going on. Everything looks the same on Bitcoin as well. XRP. All right, then you said on this one, which zones y'all like more? Okay, so this is the thing too, right? For setups like this, right? Because you can easily see we have a breaker structure here or a change of character. Even though we have the change of character here for this high, right? We also broke structure here. So that's something to keep in mind. So because we broke structure here, we do have a starting point here. So this area would be option one, right? Now, if the market wants to go higher, well, then we have option two, which would be your left shoulder. So this is something that we would have to run our risk to reward on. If you were on maybe Monday's call, we had talked about breaking down risk to reward and how we can use that in our favor because we don't know what zone the market is going to respect. It can respect this one and continue down, or it could respect the higher zone and continue down, right? But knowing that we have two opportunities, that tells us, the trader, that one of these trades might be a loss. And that's okay. You just have to understand and know that beforehand, right? But this also looks good structure-wise. We do have equal lows here happening. So let's go ahead and take a look at this stuff. See, the first one was Ethereum. I haven't marked up cryptos in forever. Yeah, you see how long ago that was. But let's take a look. Let's go to a higher time frame real quick, right? Because the market is coming down. Now, the thing is we all know that the cryptos are starting to go in that bullish, momentum. Now the market's coming up, but it's starting to drop down. But what is it going to be dropping down to, right? Because at some point the market may hit something specific, and then we start continuing in that bullish sentiment, right? Now let's go ahead, hop on the higher time frame. Let's go to the daily real quick. So we can take a look right here. Let's just erase some of this stuff for the visual. Let's go to the monthly. So we're about to make all-time highs. We're about to break all-time highs coming soon, right? It's literally bouncing off this zone. If I draw this from wick to body, it's bouncing off that zone right now, right? So, but this is a good thing, right? This is a good thing. That means we have another setup potentially in the future. So look at this, guys. Even on the monthly time frame, like, how can the market be so clean on the monthly time frame, right? Whether you got faked out, because it does look like this starting point here got wicked out, which is fine. There's obviously things on lower time frame, but in essence, we should have been looking for buys because of this breakout, right? Cool. So on top of that, we understand that there is an opportunity down here. Now, the thing is, every time we want to see an opportunity, whether it's a starting point, if we can see a starting point, we want to look for the inverted play. Anytime we're looking for buys and there's a starting point right here, we want to look for the inverted play, which means we have to be marking up our breaker structures on the way down and our change of character line, because as soon as we get this, we do have another opportunity. When is the market going to come pull back and give us one? We don't know, right? But as long as we can see breaker structure, change of direction, we're set for the next opportunity. Give me a 5 if that makes sense, guys. Because sometimes, like, when you can see this, When you can see this and the market just continues to go higher or maybe even just hangs out right here, guys, that's a good thing, right? The market is building liquidity. We don't know when the market's going to come back down here, but we will like to wait, right? If the market can make its way, awesome. And let's continue that ride, right? Whether that is a starting point play or another inverted head and shoulder, right? We get the change of direction. Market's making its way down. Same rules apply. Break a structure, break a structure, break a structure. Came into my starting point / right shoulder area. Oops. As soon as we get this, same thing. I don't know when it's going to come back down there. However, I do see my next opportunity. All I have to do is, drum roll, please. All I have to do is wait. It's as simple as that. As soon as you can see your opportunity here, guys, all we have to do is wait. All right. So as we come back up here, looking for possible buys in this area, we have two zones, right? Again, knowing this, Austin, I'm running my risk to reward, especially if I'm looking to continue new highs, right? I'm going to run my risk to reward. Maybe it's going to look like this. Opportunity here, stop loss below the low. I want to attack the highs and continue. I have a zone right here. I know where my stop loss goes, and I want to attack the new highs. Does that make sense, Austin? I'm willing to run my risk to reward, even right here. Now, again, if you follow the 10 trade cycle, this is 3 trades, right? I could take 1 loss, 2 loss, I'm down 2%. But if this trade's hit, this is a 1 to 8, which means if I take 2 losses, okay, cool, I'm down 2%. If this trade hits, this is a 1, almost a 1 to 9. Let's just round it up to a 1 to 9, right? If this trade hits, okay, I took 2 losses. I gained 9%, which means I am now up 7%, which means I have to run my risk to reward if I'm going to trust my bias sometimes, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look. So at this point, if we're looking at it like this, as of right now, right? This is my break of structure. This is my change of direction line, but we haven't gotten that yet, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. We break structure. So let's go ahead. We'll adjust. We have that. I'm gonna play this thing out. This is taking too long. Boom. That's live price right now. So guys, do we have our change of direction? Yes, sir. Which means the next buy opportunities on the higher time frames that I'd be looking at would be somewhere around here. Monthly time frames. Go to the weekly. Notice this is the starting point, the closest starting point. We have one down here. Yes, that's the monthly. But notice this starting point right here is what actually broke and changed direction. So I'm going to have a zone right there. Let's drop down to the daily time frame. Let's go ahead and minimize this. So now I know I have a starting point on the weekly / daily here. Right. And I don't mind this structure. Like this is pretty decent structure. Break a structure to the downside. And then we change direction, giving me an inverted head and shoulder. Do you guys see that? Give me an 8 if you guys can see it. All right. Give me an 8 if you guys can see it. And give me a 1 if you can't yet. Right. We have support. This is going to be my shoulder, my neckline, my head. As soon as we break out, we have that inverted. So I'm already anticipating the market to come back here sometime in the future. When, I do not know, but I have to wait, right? Let's go ahead and set alerts. Cool. Now on the daily time frame, this is the closest pullback right now. Break a structure to the upside. My starting point. Drop down the 4-hour time frame. We can minimize this daily down to the 4-hour starting point. Awesome. So now let's take a look, guys. This is my buy zone, yes? As the market is breaking structure, lower low, lower high, BOS. What should I be drawing right here, guys? My break of structure line. BOS at the downside. As of right now, that is my change of direction line. So if the market's ready to go, if the market's ready to continue buying, this is what it is. Left shoulder, neckline, head, change of direction, we start looking for more buy opportunities. Okay. As soon as we get this change of direction, we're looking for buy opportunities. Give me a 1 if that makes sense, guys. Now, looking at it for sales, right? This would definitely be a counter trend. So I want you guys to understand that right now, because the market is so bullish. The trend is in an uptrend, which means it would be much easier to swim with the trend rather than going against the trend. So looking for buys would be a bit easier, in my opinion. Less likely to get manipulated, but we can still do it, right? It's totally, you can still run it. If you do, if you're gonna take a counter trend, I would half leverage. If you usually leverage like a 1%, leverage 0.50, right? We know it's a counter trend, so if we're gonna take a loss, might as well not be a big loss. But it's totally up to you at the end of the day, right? If you're trading 1 to 2 pairs, running your risk to reward, it's all we got, right? So starting point / left shoulder here, you're in between 2 zones, right? If the market's not giving you anything clean here to take, then don't take it. Let the market come up. If you're ready to take these sell opportunities, go ahead and take it. If you want to wait for more confirmation, okay, I get that, because it's a counter trend. So I would want more confirmation as well, right? So as the market is going up to your sell zone, break a structure. Guys, this is how we stop taking losses. If we wait for confirmation like this, especially when it's a counter trend, we take a loss off of our trading book, right? And I'm all about taking losses off of my trading book. Now, if the market's ready to drop and continue to the downside, we will see a change of direction. Once we get that, we can go ahead and label. That structure did hold well. Let's confirm. Now we can start looking for this opportunity. So I don't have to be the first one in. I don't have to take this one, guys. I do not have to take the first one. You never have to be in the first setup, guys, right? If you want to wait for confirmation, which is this here, right, to feel comfortable trading, that's totally fine. Now, keep in mind, just because we wait for this confirmation doesn't mean it's going to give us the perfect entry. The market might miss our zone and continue down the way you wanted. That happens, right? So that is, I guess, the downside or the con of waiting for confirmation, right? If we know you're looking for sales here, you can do that, right? However, if you want to wait for confirmation, it doesn't always have to give you that snipe, right? So just keep that in mind. And you'll feel a lot more comfortable in knowing what to do when you back test. When you get more data with the pairs that you trade, right? Are the pairs that you're trading, are they giving the change of direction, missing your entry and going? If that's happening over and over and over again and fairly consistently, then you know what? You have to be a big boy and big girl, put your big boy and big girl trading pants on and start entering at the top. If you realize a lot of your pairs that you're trading are actually giving you the second opportunity, then you can go ahead and put your big boy and big girl trading pants on at that second opportunity. But it all goes back to back testing and understanding the pairs that you trade, right? Give me a 5 if that makes sense, guys. Because just because you see one thing happen on NAS, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this just because I seen this on Ethereum, I'm gonna do the same thing. Guys, it's not how it works. Trust me, I promise you. Let's say it's just not how it works. If you see one thing on one pair and you're like, oh, I see that on that pair, I'm sure that's gonna happen on this pair. It does not have to happen like that. I promise you guys. Okay. Now, let's say the market doesn't respect the zone. Okay, cool. What can happen? Well, as soon as we get disrespected here, we get our change of direction. We can now start looking for some more buy opportunities and shift that market higher. Okay. But other than that, everything looks pretty good right here. We have everything locked up structure-wise. Now we wait. Now we wait. Does that make sense, Austin? We good, bro? And I'm pretty sure a lot of the crypto pairs are going to be looking similar, right? So we have Solana here. See, very, very similar. You're careful with the, yeah, I mean, you should be. You should be. What does your soul look like? Okay, same thing. Looking for sales. Let's go to the daily time frame just to clear some things up. Market's definitely making its way. That's for sure. Dang, bro, that's a weekly shoulder snipe, bro. If that's crazy. Crazy movement. Crazy movement. Okay, so same thing, right? Nothing changes. Nothing changes just because we're on a different pair, right? I can see on the weekly, we have the same thing. Break a structure to the downside, change of direction to the upside. My starting point on the weekly time frame is right here. Let's go down to the daily. Super clean structure right now. Super clean structure right now. Looking nice. Looking nice. Now, I'm also seeing the same thing here, right? Break a structure to the downside. Change of direction to the upside. We rinse and repeat the same setup. Now notice, I'm gonna go ahead and just shrink this with the visual. My breakout rally is here. My starting point is right here, right? So technically, because we had our change of direction, I'm not going to be looking for dominant sells until the market breaks and closes below this stop loss. Because technically, I'm going to clear this up for the visual. If we're trading this as a head and shoulder setup, my entry on the head and shoulder is here, and my stop loss should be way down here. So the market can come all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And then market can change direction, and now we're heading back up, right? But you got scared because we were close to hitting our stop loss, so you exited the trade, whatever the case may be, right? So just keep that in mind. Because we got our bullish confirmation, the market has till this low to actually change direction and take dominant sells, right? Right now, these are counter trend sells. But if the market breaks and closes below here, then we might take sells down to a lower zone. 4 hour time frame. Dang, even down here, like, look at this setup, bro. Like, the market's just giving you opportunities left and right. Change direction. Snipe. Like, that's a snipe, bro. That's a snipe. I do like this. We have a starting point here. Now, notice the market was building a lot of liquidity, and then it ended up taking some out, right? Notice how we have support, support, support. We swept some of this liquidity here. Why did we sweep that liquidity? Well, let's just take a look. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. This is what I'm seeing. I don't know if it hit it, but I'm seeing a fresh starting point here. If I'm not mistaken. Notice as soon as we get this break of structure to the upside, sometimes these one candle break of structures, a lot of people overlook them. But if you can see a break of structure and the market has not came into that starting point, guys, it is a starting point. Notice as soon as we break structure, we tap trend line, trend line, trend line, trend line, trend line. Just bouncing off this trend line. We build support, market comes right back in, clears all this liquidity, taps into your starting point, and takes off. Give me an 8 if that makes sense. That is clean structure, guys. We have to start seeing this. This right here is the advanced part of trading that we need to train our eyes to see, because everybody can see this. Like, that's an easy starting point, bro. Fat breakout rally. Everybody can see that. But diving in and dissecting the free zones inside of here, that's always going to be important. Always going to be important. Right? So not only do we have a starting point down there, we also have an inverted shoulder. So the market does have some room to drop, right? Does have some room to drop. But same rules apply. This is my break of structure to the downside. This is my starting point to sell. Again, these are counter trend sells because the trend is bullish right now. And if that starting point gets violated, well, that's also my change of direction. So if that sell gets violated, guys, I should already know what to do. Does that make sense? Every starting point play, even a head and shoulder play, if they get violated, you automatically should know what to do, because all you do is reverse it. You flip it, right? If we were looking for sales because of the break of structure, well, now as soon as we get disrespected, we have inverted head and shoulder. We're now looking for buys. So you should never fear a loss, guys. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, put that in your head, right? Why do I really fear a loss? And maybe it's because you never had money growing up, or maybe because, you know, your lifestyle. Like, why do you need all this money, right? Why do you fear the loss? I'm looking to take sales based off of the setup that we see. Okay, I get that. But as soon as we change direction and the market violates that setup, we should automatically know what to do, which means like that loss, it's like obsolete. It's like it doesn't even matter. It shouldn't matter, because as soon as the market comes back to giving opportunity, eventually I will recoup that loss and gain some more. Give me a 2 if that makes sense, guys. Same thing right here, right? Same thing right here. If this is my break of structure to the upside, and this is my change of direction line, right? This is also my stop loss to my buy setups, but this is also the change of direction line. Left shoulder, neckline, head. I'm looking for buys based off of my setup here. But if the market just continues to go, okay, cool, I took a loss, but now I have a giant head and shoulder setup. I already know what to do now. Give me a 1 if that makes sense, and give me a question mark if you're confused. Super important to know that. Super important to know that. But this would be the setups here. So that's what I'll be waiting for. What is this? Coinbase. Oh, this is BTC. Weekly time frame. This is my break of structure here. BOS to the upside. My starting point for that is right here. There's probably going to be something right here on the lower time frame. So let's go ahead and minimize. Go to the daily. I'm liking that right there. The starting point that's happening. Got a starting point, and then we also have a head and shoulder. Cool. All right, so this is what I'm seeing. Obviously, we have buys down here, but I also see we had a liquidity sweep or a break of structure to the downside. And we also changed direction. So there, this is the zone, a left shoulder here. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame and just minimize that. I like to use the 4-hour zones. Now, this isn't the cleanest, and I would much like the market to come down lower. Do we have equal highs? No, we swept highs. Okay, cool. So I wouldn't mind the market coming down here. And we also have a starting point that comes hand in hand with that. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. So now you're looking for sells. Let's drop down the 1-hour time frame. We could even stay on the 4-hour time frame. We zoom in. Do we have a break of structure to the downside? Makes it very, very easy on higher time frames. Yes, we do. Candle does break and close below that. My starting point is right here. Awesome. Cool. Everything's locked and loaded. I am liking that liquidity being built up. I'm not gonna lie. I do like this. As soon as we get that break of structure, equal lows, trend line liquidity. So whether we get some respect here and change direction, or we tap into this higher one, because that one looks kind of good. I'm not gonna lie. And we get that change of direction. We hit the market, send the market back down. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. But yeah, that's what I would be looking at too. XRP. Take a look at XRP. Let's go to the daily. So we have the break of structure to the downside on XRP. We haven't fully gotten a change of direction yet. I should have just left that black. However, this is what we do have, and this is what I'm seeing, right? Because we do have respect on this starting point. It did continue going higher. We don't have the change of direction, so I'm thinking that the market is liking this starting point right now. Let's drop down the 4-hour. I'm gonna delete this for the visual. On the 4-hour, it does, right? So if you're trusting that, I'm just gonna leave this out here, and I guess we could just take a look at it next week sometime, because the market is respecting it, and it has tell this low, right? So that is my change of direction, and that is also my stop loss. So the market can play with us for a little bit. Market can hang out here, give us some profit, go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower. And then if the market wants to change direction and start heading up now, totally fine. It's always gonna make you emotional. So as soon as you see a setup, we always have until the dominant low, right? The market can go ahead and make you emotional all it wants, right? All it wants. But I am liking buys in this setup specifically. Overall, the rest, like the rest didn't really look that well for buys. Like the buys looked a bit better, a lot lower for the rest of them. But for life price where it's at right now, I mean, it's kind of in a buy zone. So I want to see what the market's going to do. We'll take a look. for sure. Yeah, for sure. We'll take a look. But any other setups, guys? You guys want me to take a look at any other setups? Any pairs you guys want me to look at? We have a couple minutes left. We got 30 minutes left. Thank you, Austin, for sending in those plays. I'm about to eat with you, bro. I'm about to eat with you. Let's go and take a look at gold. I see a lot of people looking at gold. What did gold do? I'm still waiting on this zone for gold. I know we've talked about it a couple times. We've left gold alone, but I am still waiting on this right here. The market has been playing around inside this consolidation for some time now. Now I see everybody still participating with gold. And personally, I haven't even touched it. I haven't touched it in a while, mainly because I want this zone here. I'm waiting for this zone. And if the market continues to play around inside of here, that is fine with me because I know eventually the market will come back to me. It will come down here and we can look for opportunities. Whether it's this opportunity here or this one here, we will catch that opportunity and we will continue sending the market back up. Okay. Just waiting. We're just waiting. Let's take a look at some indices. All right, cool. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. This is US30. Now, this is this week right here. So this is Thursday, Friday. So this is this week that had just passed, right? Monday the 11th, Friday the 15th, right? So this is this week. So how can we have taken opportunities here, guys? How can we have taken opportunities, or how can we have already been in this trade? Why should we have been looking for buy opportunities? Why should we have been looking for buy opportunities? Right? So let's go ahead. We'll jump on a higher time frame real quick. That's fire right there. 4-hour time frame. That's fire. That's the one. Clean markups. Looking nice. I love it. I love it. Now let's go take a look. We're on the weekly time frame. Now we should have already been looking for buys. Like we should have been looking for buys, bro. Break a structure to the downside. Change of direction to the upside. Right? Cool. We get the change of direction. So now on the weekly time frame, this is my starting point right here. Let's go to the daily. Now we can minimize that to right here. Cool. So now I'm still looking for buys down here. Now again, guys, same rules apply. Market gives me a high. We look for the inverteds and break a structures. Break a structure to the downside. Cool. Now again, when I seen this, I'm like, okay, the market does not have to come back down to me. I want to see if I can play this as low as possible, right? When you could understand liquidity, guys, especially with some of the pairs that you trade on, this happens a lot on US30. Sometimes it'll give you a liquidity sweep and you're waiting right here. You're waiting patiently, right? You're waiting patiently and then the market misses you by a couple pips and then continues. So this is what I've been doing, and I'm running my risk to reward because I trust my bias, right? If I'm looking for buys, I'm going to be looking for buys, and I trust my bias, and I know that I might take 1 loss, 2 loss, maybe even 3 losses. But as long as I get that one that bounces back, that's all that matters because I'm running my risk to reward in my 10 trade cycle. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, go ahead and check Monday's video. It breaks everything down. It'll make more sense. So now let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame. Break a structure line, change of direction line. Let's go. 4-hour time frame. Now, even right here, even on the 4-hour time frame, there's nothing really right here. That's super clean. If I drop down to the 2-hour, we might find something. This possibly. Oops, no. This possibly. If I drop down to the 1, what can we see? This possibly. Right? So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go back up to that daily time frame. See what zone the market respected. It was that middle zone. Okay, cool. So now we can delete that. But now take a look. As the market respected this zone in the middle of nowhere, right? It still swept liquidity. Just because it never reached my zone, it still swept liquidity. So what am I doing? I'm dropping down to a lower time frame. 2-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame, as long as you can see the setup. For me, I like to minimize the noise. So I like to play with some of these time frames. This is what I'm seeing. I'm keeping things very, very simple, guys. On the way down to my buy zones, I'm always locating my breaker structures. BOS, 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 BOS. This is my very last breaker structure to the downside, right above my buy zone, right? Very last breaker structure above my buy zone, which means this right here is my change of direction. Boom. Change of direction line. So again, guys, I have to run my risk to reward. If this is my starting point is just a bit higher than my left shoulder. Does that make sense, guys? And if I even want a tighter shoulder and I run the 1-hour time frame, then my zone is like this. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know. We could even use the 1-hour starting point. Still sniped it. So if this is how it is, right? Opportunity 1, opportunity 2, my stop loss. I mean, that's kind of a tight stop loss. I wouldn't mind putting it right at my right shoulder or even below this wick here, just because I'm personally a fan of, you know, a bit looser stop loss, giving your trades some space to play. But again, you can. It's just a bit tight for me. I wouldn't mind giving it something like this, right? Now, again, even to the high, even to this high, that's already a 1 to 4, and that's giving the market room to play, right? What if I wanted to take the high? Because if the market's gonna continue to the upside, the market has to go ahead and clear new highs. So again, Friday, this is Monday, right? We should have been in that trade last Thursday. Does that make sense? Based off of this whole setup, sometimes, guys, there's going to be trading weeks where it's not going to give really solid opportunities. But the week previous, it gave the snipe. It gave the setup we were looking for. That's the one that we were looking for right there. Everything else is going to be a bit tough. But that doesn't mean we can't get into anything. Give me a 2 if this is making sense, guys, and give me a question mark if you're confused. Yeah, it looks like Nana's right there. Sheesh. And she had the shoulder zones. Let's go. That's a snipe. That's solid. That's super nice. I love to see that. But now, how can we have gotten to this, right? We missed this trade. Can we have gotten into this opportunity? Guys, I like to do the same thing over and over again. Why? Because I see it work all the time. What would you consider this, guys? Would you consider this trend line liquidity? Yes or no? Would you consider that trend line liquidity? I would, right? So if I know that, if I see that as liquidity, I could run the same play again. Yes, that's a breakage structure to the downside, but I also know that it's clearing liquidity. So what am I going to do? I'm going to jump to the lower time frames until I see this pullback. Pullback. I'm going to find my closest pullback to my buy opportunity. Now, as soon as I get that change of direction, I'm going to run this opportunity here. Right. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if we can get that. Shot down to the 15. As of right now, on the 15-minute time frame, this is my break of structure to the downside. BOS. My change of direction line is right here. Let's take a look. That's my break of structure now right here. That's my closest one. One candle. On the 5-minute, it'll look a bit different. 10-minute, it'll look a bit different. Okay. Let's go back up to the 15. Boom. Break a structure to the upside, guys. My change of direction line comes here. My starting point is here. Now, I'm a fan, guys. I'm personally a fan of just going time frame by time frame. If I don't have to go from the 1 hour to the one, I'm not going to do that because look at how messy it gets. I'm personally not the person to do that. I want to go from the 1 minute to the 30-minute, and I just want to see time frame by time frame. How can I do this as clean as possible with the least amount of noise? Okay, cool. That looks perfectly fine to me. So now this is my next opportunity here. Again, you can put your stop loss below the starting point. That would be very, very tight. But I'm a fan of putting my stop loss at the lows to giving my trade a room to play. Now, again, that's 122 pips. But if you can't trade and risk 122 pips, then you shouldn't be trading US30. It's just as simple as that. If you're gonna trade it the right way with the big dogs, with the hedge funds, feeling comfortable, right? I bet if you're putting in a lot and you have a 50 pip risk, you might feel good because you're only risking 50 pips, but at the end of the day, you're not giving your room no room to play. Yes, your trade is a 1 to 11 and my trade is a 1 to 4.5. But at the end of the day, what difference does it make about the size of the risk to award if you keep getting wicked out and I keep hitting TP or vice versa, right? Let's say I have small stop losses. What difference does it make if I have a 1 to 11 if I keep getting wicked out and Fernanda keeps her stop losses a bit looser, giving her trades room to play, and she keeps hitting, right? I would like to hit TP personally. I don't care if it's a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. I don't care, right? So let's take a look. Market building up liquidity. I can already see the trend line right away. I can already see the equal highs right away as well too. So let's take a look, see what the market is doing. Swept this. Do we sweep it? We did sweep it. Let's take a look. At this point, since it swept liquidity, it can go higher. It does not have to come to me. This is one of those ideas to where I was saying just because I'm waiting for my confirmation does not mean it's going to give me a snipe opportunity and take off. Things like this can happen too, whether it just takes liquidity and then it's gone. It's like, you know what? We'll save that zone for tomorrow or in 3 days, right? So just keep that in mind. We did sweep liquidity here, and there is still liquidity left over. Oops, up here. Let's take a look. Market left some more, which I like. Oop, market just swept it. Okay, cool. So now let's take a look and see what the market's going to do now. If we still hang out inside this area, I would not mind taking some buys once the market comes back over here, right? So let's take a look. There is also some more liquidity being built up right here. Let's just clean that up for the visual. Continue to build more. Let's take a look. Now, this is the thing, right? The way it came down, if we would have continued to drop down, right? Because people were looking for sells here based off of head and shoulder confirmations. Breakage structure to the upside, we changed direction. People were looking for sells in a bullish market, right? And I get it. Now, if we would have swept liquidity like this, if we would have swept liquidity sharp, came into this starting point and came back down, I would have ignored this opportunity and we could possibly continue looking for sales. But what is making me think the market wants to continue going higher? The equal highs. Because it left equal highs, that's telling me that this trade has an opportunity, actually. Like this trade opportunity has an opportunity to go higher, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. Market taps our zone. What the freaking snipe? And then it takes off. But again, I would like to see if we can continue holding here. 1 to 10. Boom. So check me out, guys. This was Monday. You should have been in this trade. If you weren't in last Thursday, you should have been in this trade on Monday. And if you missed the trade on Monday, it was a little bit harder to get in. But if you would have had this with a tight stop loss, that would have been a 1 to 20 plus, right? So that risk to reward would have went stupid, right? But nonetheless, I'm perfectly fine with the 1 to 10, right? Perfectly fine. Does that make sense, guys? I hope that makes sense because things like this are important. And I mean, I personally don't see why it's tough for some people to catch opportunities. Maybe it's because I've been doing it for so long, obviously, and it's just like muscle memory to me. I mostly trade indices. Like I'll dabble into some forex pairs every now and then, but I got to be honest, bro. Like I'll mark up every forex pair in the world, but I will only trade like the indices. So yeah, I only trade indices mainly. But look, like it's working, right? Like you can see with your own 2 eyes, 4 eyes if you wear glasses like me, that it's working, right? I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not trying to pull up every indicator in the world. I'm not trying to make up big ass words like equilibriums and mitigations and things like that, right? Like I'm not trying to confuse you guys. I'm trying to show you guys simple market structure, right? Now, again, if you weren't in on Monday, it was a little tougher to get in. A little tougher to get in. Now, I mean, this was like the last clean opportunity that I had seen, but then it gave it some trouble, right? My stop loss would have been at the lowest wick here. And even then, like I'm always giving my trades a bit of room. So I'm personally never putting my stop loss like right at that low. I don't ever do that. I like to give my trades a little bit more room. So I like to do something like that. And that also goes back to me trading pairs so much, like spread, like 30 pip, 25 pip spread. You have to account for the spread as well, right? So that's where I got that from. And I use the same thing in indices. Like indices are still prone to manipulation and stuff like this. Like this is just regular. It happens, right? So I'm personally always giving my trade room. So if you were something that gave it some room, then you most likely hit TP, right? But if you put your stop loss super, 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 super tight, you obviously got stopped out. But now let's take a look. Could we have gotten into this play after getting stopped out? Well, if we did it the aggressive way, then yes. right? The aggressive way. I've broken this down many times. I don't break it down a lot because it's aggressive. It doesn't require reanalyzing. As soon as your candle, the candle that hits your stop loss, as soon as the candle that hits your stop loss hits your stop loss, you have to wait for that candle to close. So this gray candle here, it hit your stop loss. Now you have to wait for that candle to close. Now, what difference does that make for me? Now, if that candle would have closed below your stop loss, we are no longer looking for buys. We should be looking for sells. Possible sells could be coming. But since it closed above your stop loss, this is telling us that the market was just picking your pocket, right? It was looking for everybody who over leveraged. Now, as soon as this candle closes inside your setup, I want to enter as soon as it closes. Means I will enter right here again. My stop loss is the new wick, which was this low. And again, I'll give it a little bit of space. And I want to continue with my idea. So if you're looking at it with an aggressive idea, then yes, you could have gotten in there. No reanalyzing, pure aggressiveness, just looking at the chart like this. And again, I've back tested this on many pairs. It works. Obviously, we can see it. Does it work every single time? Obviously not. There will be times that the market will have its way with you. It'll slap you around a little bit and then go your way. But that is one way you could have looked for it. Now, let's drop down. Or let's actually stay on this time frame, right? On this time frame, the 30-minute, this was my liquidity sweep. So now this is requiring reanalyzing, right? My liquidity sweep, my change of direction. On this time frame, it does not give us a re-entry unless you are focused on, which most people aren't, the breakout and retest. If you are focused on that, then yes, but most people are not focused on that. So on this time frame, it does not. But let's see if the market gives me an idea somewhere down here on the lower time frame. 15-minute, no. The 5-minute, no, not that I see. Other than this, right? Other than this, that's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. Why? Because this is the breakout that gave us the dominant change of direction. So this would have been opportunity 1, and then I would have ran my opportunity here, opportunity 2 with the left shoulder. And that goes hand in hand with the breakout retest I believe we were looking at on the 30-minute. Yes, it does. So some of the break and retests actually do work. I just like it when they're paired with starting points like this. That's when they have a higher weight. And obviously for us, it makes more sense because I have an entry point and a stop loss point that I can use. And obviously 1 to 3s, we can always attack. Easy play, fire play right there. That for sure we could have gotten into. But way down here, it does not look like the market gives us an opportunity. Let's go drop down to the 1 minute. Yeah, it doesn't look like the market gave us, oh my gosh, does it give us an opportunity? And I'll be honest, it does give us one, but I don't see anybody taking this to be real. I don't even think I would have taken this because this looks like a 30-second setup, and I don't take setups that low. But let's go ahead and I'll break it down. I'm going to show you guys on this time frame, and then I'm going to drop down so we can see it a bit cleaner. Notice how this wick sweeps liquidity here. This wick right here. See how we have, it looks like we have 1 touch, 2 touch, wick, and then we change direction. Right? So let's go ahead. We'll drop down to the 30-second. Yes, sir. Now, I don't trade the 30 seconds. I will be honest with you. I don't even go down to the on the 1 minute. But structure is structure anywhere you go. You just have to understand where to look for it. right? Break a structure to the downside. Obviously, we can see this is what took our stop loss. But even on the 30-second, guys, none of these candles here closed below your stop, right? This would have been your reanalyzing. Your starting point would have been here, or your shoulder would have been here. No matter how you look at it, that would have been your re-entry to the upside. However, it doesn't look it doesn't look the cleanest, and I don't really see anybody taking that one, honestly. I would have personally, I would have ran my odds using this break and retest starting point. That would have been opportunity one, and my second opportunity would have been this right shoulder. So if I'm looking at this, I'm telling myself, Vinny, the trader, yes, Vinny, hey, we have an opportunity right here, and we also have an opportunity way down here. So you have to understand you might take a loss there. And I'm going to tell myself, okay, Vinny, thank you for reminding me, bro. Right? So we have to understand that, guys. If we have two opportunities, one might lose, and we have to run our risk to reward on them. Thankfully, the market ran new highs, gave us an opportunity. That was fire right there. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys, but the information is here, guys. The information is here. And I really do, you guys are taking it serious because I'm here to help you guys. Right? Whether you guys want to send in the trade ideas in the chat or send them to me directly, I'm always here to help you guys. You guys want to ask questions, I'm always here to help you guys on the calls. So make sure you take advantage, guys. I personally don't think trading levels is that hard. But I don't think I'm just saying that because I'm at where I'm at right now. I've always thought this, even when I was in your shoes, right? I was like, bro, levels is not that hard. I just need to sharpen up everything that I know about it to give me a better edge, right? And I'm sure some of you guys, y'all like, yo, levels ain't that hard, bro. Like, it's pretty easy. I could see some setups. But now it's time to like sharpen up and make the brain super sharp and the eye super sharp. That way you can just take these opportunities and not second guess, right? But in my opinion, for a small call, fire call, the examples were fire. And I really like when the examples are good, right? Because I do know that not everybody back tests, right? And I love when the market just gives us really good examples because I do know like everybody's busy, one, but then obviously some people don't put in the time. So I just love it when we have good examples. That way you can see it. When you have the time on this call, I want you guys to see the setups. And I'm always happy that there's good opportunities. Hey, appreciate you, Noah. Appreciate you. Now we got to lock in, fam. We got to lock in. We're in August, September, October, November, December. We have 5 months, guys, till the year ends. We have 5 months until the year ends. That is crazy to me. I want to see everybody's trading level up. How can we do that? How can Apple's iPhone, Austin, Fernanda, Giselle, Carlos, iPhone, Jay, Joseph, Giovanni, Nova, how can we level up in the next 5 months? By the time this year ends, how can we get better? We're here right now, but how can we get here? I'm not asking for this. I want just a little bit more. How can I get from here to here, guys, but in the next 5 months? Whatever you guys need me to do, whether it's on Monday or Friday, let me know what you guys need, what you guys want me to focus on, whether it's more market structure, more risk to reward, more head and shoulders, more starting points, right? Let me know. I can't attack a topic unless people ask questions or people let me know what they need help on, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. But with that being said, I hope you guys had a fire call. I hope you guys enjoyed the call. Enjoy your weekend. make sure you back test, guys. I know you guys hop on my calls and you guys hop on these calls, but the growth won't happen by watching. You can learn something, but at this point, a lot of you guys know everything you need to know. Now you just need to apply it. So at that point, you guys need to get your hands on, right? But you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, and I will see you guys on Monday. Let's get it, guys.